Why are young Filipino women willing to marry old foreign men? According to the 2019 Filipino Marriage Statistics Report released by the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, 96.4%, 416,542 pairs, of marriages occurred between men and women in the Philippines in 2019, and 3.5%, 15,047 pairs, occurred between Filipinos and foreigners between. Among transnational marriages, 89.3% were married to foreign male citizens, while only 10.7% were married to foreign women. Among foreign marriages, American women married Filipino men the most, accounting for 16.6%. This is followed by Australia, 14%, Canada, 12.3%, China, 7.2%, and Japanese women, 7.1%. At the same time, among foreign marriages, Filipino women married American men the most, accounting for 26.8%, followed by Japan, accounting for 10.6%, the UK, accounting for 6.6%, South Korea, accounting for 6.3%, and Canadian men, accounting for 5.7%. Why are Filipino women willing to marry older European and American men? Let us explore their views on marriage and love. 1. They believe this is the fastest way to get rid of poverty. Filipino men are generally very lazy, and women tend to be the backbone of the family's economy. Many Filipino women go out to work early for the tuition of their brothers and sisters, and use the money they earn to spend on the family. But if Filipino women marry foreigners, the situation is completely different. Filipino women will become dependent on men. She usually thinks that she is married to a rich man and will transfer the burden of paying for the family's expenses to her husband. When asking Filipino girl, why did you choose to marry a foreign man dozens of years older than herself? The answer is likely to be, because they need money. Many Filipino girls do regard their marriage as a business transaction to improve the living environment of themselves and their families. 2. It is easy to establish relationships with foreign elderly men. Older foreign men will not find young women who are much younger than them in their home country. It is man's nature to always be obsessed with young women in their 20s. Whether they have a common language or whether they have the same hobbies and interests are not considered. As long as you have a young body, that's what matters. You don't want to leave this world alone. Filipinos are generally more enthusiastic and caring, so these older foreign men naturally tend to look for them as partners for the rest of their lives. Young Filipino women also like these foreign men who are dozens of years older than themselves, because they know that these foreign men are willing to spend money for themselves and their families. This is a mutually beneficial relationship, and both parties clearly know this. 3. They choose old men to minimize the loss. Love is always risky, especially in the case of marrying a foreigner. Cultural differences will become an obstacle, which may have a negative impact on both parties. What's more, some women will encounter domestic violence in their lives. Young Filipino girls know that marrying a foreign man and entering a foreign family is a gamble. In order to minimize the loss, girls try their best to choose older men, because girls have this idea: if it is inevitable to make sacrifices or even get hurt, then marry an older man who is dozens of years older than herself. With these men, they can shorten their time of suffering. Because with a husband who is already very old, they do not need to be with him for too long. 4. They believe that they will fall in love with their husbands eventually. Although most Filipino girls get together with older foreign men for financial reasons, there are still some people out of romance or hope that believe that they will eventually fall in love with them. Filipino girls believe that both parties can learn to love slowly in a long life. What on earth makes American men so popular? Because in American men, they can get two things that can change their destiny: money and US citizenship. Without even mentioning the money, there is no Filipino woman who can refuse US citizenship, so they can receive the best living conditions in the world. It is also by virtue of these two prizes that the probability of American whites meeting love in the Philippines is simply higher than anywhere else. Filipino women are thus packaged into blue blood brands in the marriage and love market for both sexes. They are graded and labeled like commodities for the American financial owners to choose. However, sadly, they still accept this status quo, because it is a change. The only way to change their destiny. All the old white men in our town have found young Filipino girlfriends. They are obviously not cheap, because they always need to send money to their families in the Philippines. Comprehensive national strength has implemented dimensionality reduction in the market for both sexes. Even if your weight and age are 2 or 3 times that of the other party, you can easily reap a model-shaped Filipino sweetheart. Marry a wife equals marry the whole family. Maybe when you associate with Filipino women and get married, they will not ask the man to buy a house or a car as a gift, but they will ask for a love allowance for the man, which is a common problem for almost all Filipino girlfriends. If he is not careful, this rich foreign boyfriend will become the financial pillar of the woman's family. The whole family here refers not only to her parents, but her entire family. My Filipino girlfriend and I have been dating for 15 years and I've sent a total of $50,000 to her family in Mindanao. An American Van Yardner said, "I'm not bragging, this is just a simple mathematical calculation. You should definitely give your Filipino girlfriend money every month. If you love her and she takes care of you, then you should give back to her." The dating website also states that you must be prepared to provide financial assistance to Filipino women's families. This is true, and marrying her is equivalent to marrying her whole family. Filipino women will pull their relatives and friends into their ranks one after another like a chain. First of all, those Filipino women who have successfully landed a man will be very keen to introduce the same high-quality destination to relatives and sisters. So that as long as the rich people around you associate with a Filipino woman, their social circle will definitely gradually break down. Maintaining the connections, letting her sisters choose their own prey, and then finally moving over using their own effort. However, this situation can only be regarded as the most responsible type. Retired U.S. Navy Chuck Daniels says, "I went to visit my friend and his Filipino wife on Cebu Island in the Philippines, and then his wife tried to match her friend with me. The match was successful and we got married." And that kind of ambitious talent is that of the most advanced gold digger. They will regard marriage as a cross-class support. With the American citizenship acquired in the first step, they will choose the best American job for themselves by using all the connections from their man, and use these to secretly enter the American bases abroad and even Washington. Filipino women in the Pentagon are not a minority. What's more, they will abandon the original person that helped them to get higher positions. Of course, this is a minority. In response to this situation, some old American men have also collected a lot of experience, such as asking them to establish a good concept of money from the beginning, lowering their expectations of money, controlling their professionalism, etc. But how much of these financial and beauty transactions can be truly completed? Thanks for watching, please support by subscribe it, we have more to come, have a nice day.